Hey friends, it's Allison here, jumping in real quick before you get into all the juicy details of today's episode. Did you know there is just one more week left to our 200th episode giveaway where you have the chance to win a full ride scholarship to the Better Belly Blueprint? This is the way to heal your gut so that you can poop daily, ditch acid reflux, and balance your hormones even when nothing else has worked. Here's how you can enter. Leave a rating and review on the Better Belly podcast on Apple Podcast or Spotify between now and May 29th. Take a screenshot of that rating and review, then go to betterbellytherapies.com/giveaway and fill out our 200th episode giveaway form. You will automatically receive an email with a code for $200 off the Better Belly Blueprint, which you're going to get as soon as you send in that form. And then a full scholarship winner is going to be announced on May 30th and messaged by email. If you win, you're going to win a full scholarship to the Better Belly Blueprint. And if you don't win, you can still get $200 off, which is 20% off of the Better Belly Blueprint if you join by May 31st at midnight. So go ahead and leave a rating and review. Get that giveaway form filled out at betterbellytherapies.com/giveaway, and you can finally end your constipation, acid reflux, and PMS for good. Do you struggle with constipation? Are you on a low oxalate or low histamine diet? Do you have endometriosis, hormone imbalance, or are you on birth control to manage your symptoms? If so, this episode is for you. On today's episode, I'm answering a question that came into my IG stories that asked how to help constipation while on a low ox and low histamine diet while also having endo. So if you have a complex health case, are on restricted diets, and still struggle with constipation no matter what you do, then this episode is for you. Hey friend, welcome to the Better Belly podcast. Do you want freedom from bloating and constipation? Do you find yourself up late at night Googling natural constipation remedies, causes for bloating, or recipes and exercises to help constipation? Are you frustrated with the mind game of trying to figure out what foods are helping or hurting your gut? Hey, I'm Allison, mom, wife, and functional gut health practitioner. At a young age, bloating and constipation were my constants. I didn't know what to do and wished I could just live a normal life focusing on my passions, my job, and my family. I was tired of abdominal pain that woke me up at night and wasting time and money on gut health remedies that just didn't work. Breakthrough moment, the functional medicine and osteopathic approach to gut health. In this podcast, you will find natural remedies for bloating and constipation, practical, doable belly exercises and massages, and debunk the myths about what really is causing your tummy problems. So toss out those laxatives and say goodbye to that embarrassing gas. Your gut health is calling. And just as a reminder, this information is not meant to diagnose, manage, or treat disease. Always consult with your own health practitioner before you make any changes to your health. Hey friends, it is the last week to join my new course, the Better Belly Blueprint, where I teach you how to end bloating and constipation for good through functional lab testing, a customized health plan, and rad science that I teach you how to do yourself. If you are listening to this podcast, wanting to find the secret to ending your bloating and constipation, if you want to stop wasting money on constipation remedies that don't work, then join the Better Belly Blueprint today. In the Better Belly Blueprint, you will be able to order my 4 foundational functional lab tests, create a health plan customized to you and your body, and get freedom from bloating and constipation in 6 months or less. You will walk away from this course with a step-by-step plan that you know will work so that you can feel good day after day. So if you are ready to end bloating and constipation for good, then join the Better Belly Blueprint today. Right now, you can join for 50% off the total course price as a thank you for joining the first release of my course. And on top of this, anytime you join, 10% of the proceeds of your purchase will go to paying off the medical debt of someone in need through partnership with RIP Medical Debt, a nonprofit dedicated to eliminating debt in the US. So just go to betterbellytherapies.com/blueprint or click the link in the show notes to join today. There are only 30 spots total for this first class, and they are getting filled up. So if you are tired of jumping from podcast to podcast and blog to blog, trying to heal your constipation, join the Better Belly Blueprint today. Just go to betterbellytherapies.com/blueprint or click the link in the show notes. Enrollment ends May 31st. Now to get to the question and topic of today's episode, which is, how do I help constipation on a low oxalate and low histamine diet, or also with endo? This question came into my Instagram stories, and I am airing it on the podcast today. So when I read this question, these are a couple things that I know about the question asker immediately. Number one, her hormones are out of balance, hence the endometriosis. Number two, she struggles with detoxing because she is not breaking down histamine very well, so she's now on a low histamine diet. Number three, she struggles with detoxing because she is not breaking down oxalates very well, and so she's on a low oxalate diet. Number four, she struggles with detoxing because her hormones are out of balance, and this almost always points to poor estrogen detox and also possibly inflammation in the body that is causing her to potentially have low progesterone. But we don't know that because we just don't have the testing for it. And number five, she struggles with detoxing because she's constipated. And constipation is not only adding to the problem of not helping her detox, but it's a symptom of her not detoxing well. We will poop well when our whole body and all of our detox systems, such as our liver, are functioning at their optimal levels. So when I look at this question and I look at these 5 things I know about her, which are really more 2 or even 1 things, this is the plan of action that I would create for her. And this is the type of plan of action that I teach you how to make for yourself and your specific conditions and what's going on in your health in the Better Belly Blueprint. What you are going to want to do is look for what is clogging up your detox pathways. And there's 2 different ways to look at this. Number 1, you're going to think about what is potentially constricting your detox pathways. And I want you to imagine a toilet that's actually clogged. And so you could actually have just water in the toilet, but if it's clogged, it's not going to be able to move everything out of the toilet and make it usable and clean and fresh and function well. So a constricted detox pathway can look like liver congestion. This could be cause problems with your estrogen detox, which is going to add to her endometriosis problems. I have a free liver detox protocol. If you want to just go and check out what protocols are like when you work with me, if you want to try a liver detox protocol and see if that clears up all your problems, great. I want you to go and have that. You can go to betterbellytherapies.com/liver. But if you do that liver protocol and you don't have all your symptoms clear up, you need to do deeper digging into what is going on and what's actually causing the toilet overflowing. And we're going to get to that in just a moment. But right now we're talking about opening up your detox pathways. And the first thing I do with all of my clients always is a liver detox protocol. Now, number 2, I'm going to recommend, because she has endometriosis, that she get visceral manipulation. So endometriosis, it can get all around, not just the uterus and the ovaries, but it can get all around and up and through the small and large intestines, and that can impact digestion and elimination, like pooping. So when you get visceral manipulation, this can help move and break up fascia and endometriosis dysfunctional fascia that is getting in and around organs that can be also impacting just the mobility of all the organs in your abdomen, really. And this can go all the way up into the stomach and cause problems with acid reflux. It can get into the transverse colon. It can get into a lot of things, but we're really thinking about the small and large intestine. So get visceral manipulation. You can find a visceral manipulation practitioner near you by going to betterbellytherapies.com/find. And I have an easy to use guide for you to find someone in your zip code and find a quality person. So just go to betterbellytherapies.com/find if you want to find a visceral manipulation practitioner near you. Or join the Better Belly Blueprint and you can jump on a group coaching call and I can literally walk you through practitioners in your area and even help you decide and determine who would be a good person to work with yourself. Now, number 3, when it comes to opening up detox pathways, everything else that you would do beyond this is determined based on what is clogging up this toilet of yours. So you could do something like sauna therapy to help detox, but I would only do sauna therapy depending on certain problems that are causing, like, do you have a mold problem? Do you have candida? We're going to jump into that in a second. Vitamin C therapy, home mold testing, all these other detox strategies really should just be specific to a problem you're having while you also deal with that problem. So that leads us into reducing the amount of toxins going into these pathways. So you have a constricted pathway, the toilet is clogged, she's not detoxing well, histamine's building up in her body, oxalates are building up in her body, estrogen's building up in her body. It's causing all these symptoms related to histamine and high oxalates and high estrogen, which is for her is including endometriosis, and she's getting constipation because again, constipation is a symptom of poor detoxing as well as just adding to the problem. So what you want to do is now look at we've now talked about opening up that detox pathway, which again looks like the toilet being able to flush. We then also want to think about reducing how many toxins are going into her detox pathways. So we want to think about what is actually causing her high oxalate load. Now, she's on a low oxalate diet, but diet is typically one of the fewer sources. It's a smaller source of oxalates for somebody. The bigger sources of oxalates are going to be candida and mold. So for her, I would immediately recommend do an organic acids test. Look at, do you have candida? Do you have mold? If she has candida, she do not just look at, I'm going to go do a candida detox, because candida only overgrows when it's enabled to overgrow. This is typically things like low stomach acid, H. pylori, parasites, mold, other bigger pathogens, food sensitivities, leaky gut, poor motility, which visceral manipulation would help with. These are all things I help you think through in the Better Belly Blueprint so you can create your own personal map of what steps to do to get rid of your oxalate problem. Once you're rid of your oxalate toxicity, you won't even have to be on a low oxalate diet anymore, and you will, of course, be pooping so much better. But when she has oxalates, I would immediately say, do a test to figure out, does she have candida? Does she have mold? And if she has candida, does she have parasites? Does she have H. pylori? Does she have low stomach acid? And there's a whole process of that, which I teach you in the Better Belly Blueprint. Now, histamine, we know she has a histamine problem because she's on a low histamine diet. I would again say get to the root cause. Diet for histamine is not the root cause. We are all built with bodies that can break down histamine. We have bacteria that helps break down histamine. We have enzymes that break down histamine. Root causes of a histamine breakdown problem is typically things like a microbiome imbalance, which again is going to be typically caused by bigger pathogens or food sensitivities or even heavy metals, and leaky gut, because when you get leaky gut, you are damaging the gut lining where we make an enzyme called DAO, and that DAO is a key factor in breaking down histamine, particularly histamine that we encounter through our diet. So I'd be having her come in and looking at what is causing her leaky gut. I would be doing an organic acids test, a GI map test, a food sensitivity test. Specifically, I love the Zoomer test by Vibrant America, a heavy metal test. I have had clients with a lot of histamine problems who have uranium toxicity, mercury toxicity, aluminum toxicity. Those 3 in particular come up. And I'd be evaluating, is she on birth control, whether it's copper or hormonal, because birth control really can make histamine sensitivity way, way worse because it congests the liver and disables the body from breaking down histamine very well. So before you just jump off of birth control, I have a whole birth control protocol that helps prep your body to come off of birth control so your symptoms don't get worse when you're off of it. Because I know a lot of you out there right now are on birth control to minimize symptoms, everything from painful periods to heavy periods to skin problems to headaches and migraines. All of that is not because you need birth control, but because your body is screaming for help with its detox systems. So when you fix both of these things, you open up that toilet and you reduce how much water and crap is going into the toilet and the toilet is no longer overflowing and no longer clogged, when you don't have all those toxins pouring into you and causing toxin overload, then you can poop. And that's it. I see it all the time. I see it happen in less than 6 months with my clients. That is what I teach you how to do in the Better Belly Blueprint. And then, of course, once you can poop, you feel even better because you're detoxing because you can poop and you don't have an abdomen full of stool. And that is, for this lady, also going to really help her endometriosis, because that endometriosis is going to be extra painful if you have a large intestine full of stool. So again, I teach you how to do all of this in my course, The Better Belly Blueprint. I teach you how to end bloating and constipation for good using a customized health plan, functional lab testing, and rad science that you can do yourself. You find out if you have mold, candida, food sensitivities, heavy metals, parasites, get off birth control, poop and digest normally again, and do it while all getting help from me and my team through bi-weekly coaching calls and our student Facebook group, where you can get help in real time as you go through the process of the course. So if you're ready to stop guessing and start getting results, go to betterbellytherapies.com/blueprint or click the link in the show notes and join today. Enrollment ends May 31st. The class starts June 1st, and we will not be reopening this class until the fall. But if you do miss it, you can join our waitlist, and I will be letting you know personally through that waitlist email when the course opens again. Hey friend, I hope you loved this episode. If you've been a fan for a while or newly loving this podcast, can you do me a favor? Drop into Apple Podcasts and leave me a review. When you leave a review, you do so much. You help me know you're listening. You can tell me what you're loving so I know what to make more of. And you help others by boosting this podcast so other people like you can find the podcast too. I mean, it's a win-win-win, right? So if you want a way to pay it forward, just go to Apple Podcasts or click the link in my show notes and leave a rating and review. And if you want some more free stuff, just head over to my free Facebook group, betterbellytherapies.com/Facebook, and you can get access to all of my free support for you, including some Facebook group exclusive stuff like my podcast episode vault, where you can search the Better Belly podcast by topic and find exactly what you need to expedite your healing. I cannot wait to see you guys in there. Catch you guys next week.